So welcome to the program. Today is May 28, and every May 28 there is a celebration. Now let's start our issue of the day. 2014 marked a major turnaround when it came to the creation of awareness on menstrual hygiene. The first celebration was in that year, and it focused on raising awareness that investment in menstrual health can yield transformative impact on girls' and women's lives. Each year on May 28, Menstrual Hygiene Day is observed to highlight good menstrual hygiene practices during a girl-child's period and to raise awareness about the importance of access to menstrual products, period education, and sanitation facilities. Talking about facilities, findings from the World Health Organization, WHO, and the United Nations Children's Fund Joint Monitoring Program for Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene, JMP, revealed that the major gaps in water, sanitation and hygiene infrastructure created barriers for women and girls to manage menstruation safely and with dignity. This report further revealed that only 2 in 5 schools globally offer menstrual health education, and just 1 in 3 have bins for menstrual waste. Also, 15% average rate of menstrual-related absenteeism from school, with studies in sub-Saharan Africa reporting rate as high as 31%. So this morning on the program, we are focusing on Menstrual Hygiene Day on the program, and I already have my guests ready to go this morning. And joining me live on the line this morning, I have Bosse Ogido. She is Program Director with Teach for Nigeria. Good morning, Bosse. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Miriam. I'm doing well, thank you.
All right, so good to have you here. And also, I have Dorcas Iniobong. She is 2023 Let Girls Thrive Fellow with Teach for Nigeria. Good morning, Dorcas.
Good morning, Miss Miriam. I'm delighted to be here.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so let's start the conversation. Bosse, let me start with Bosse this morning. So, Bosse, in the report I read out from WHO and also UNICEF, according to them, 15% average rate of menstrual-related absenteeism from school. It revealed also that in sub-Saharan Africa, we have about 31% of such situation happening. I want us to start from there. Then from there, we move on to the essence of Menstrual Hygiene Day. This particular situation, is it something that has been or something that we still have ongoing since you understand more about this situation?
All right, thank you so much, Miriam. I think it's getting better day by day, but we are still sort of behind when it comes to menstrual hygiene and or menstrual education or period education, as the case may be. And the statistics still shows that a lot of girls out there do not have access to safe periods, do not have access to sanitary products, hygienic products to manage their menstruation. There's still a lot of statistics around girls don't even know the products to use when they get on their period. So are we getting better day by day? Of course, yes, but we are still behind in some way. And I'm not talking about Nigeria, but the world in general. And so with conversations like this, I think that it's an amazing opportunity to begin to speak openly about menstruation, to begin to speak openly about the products that girls have access to use, to begin to speak openly about creating safe spaces in schools, in communities, in churches, for girls, for women, to be able to have safe period and hygienic period.
Okay, so now when we are talking about the fact that we are getting better, is it that the awareness got better, or we have more, understanding parents, because some people will say that parents sometimes we have the mother being the one focusing on how to get the girl to understand this, but in a situation whereby we just have the father being the only one around, maybe due to divorce or separation, or maybe the demise of a particular parent being the mother, the father is the only one around. It's a bit hard for the girl to get educated concerning this. So can we say that we're getting better because the education or the awareness is much better, or because our parents are more open to learning about these features about their girl child?
Okay, thank you for that question. It's two things. First, the awareness is way better. I think when we were growing up, there is this, when you're 13, 14, 15, and you're in your period, and your parent, our moms would tell us, don't touch a man, don't hold a man. That was what we were used to. Don't let any man cross your leg when you're in your period. I think when we were in secondary school. But as we begin to grow, we realize that there are all this are menstruation myths, right? And this is because of the awareness that that have been given to period education. Okay, and just like what we are having now, this conversation we are having. I think years ago there was something called Menstrual Hygiene Day. It all boils down to awareness that has been given to it, attention that has been given to it, and that is now giving parents, young people, girls, men, the opportunity to be interested in, okay, what does the word menstrual hygiene mean? What does it mean? How can I support my child? For a widower, how can I support my girl child better to be able to manage her period? How can I be a giver during a period, knowing that maybe they have they are divorced or separated or widowed, whatever the case may be. And even mothers, there are some mothers that do not have enough understanding of period about period education. So the awareness has really helped to be able to, has really helped to prepare mothers, to prepare even the girls. If you go on social media now, there's so many books on managing your period. I even wrote one, and it's free everywhere for people to understand, for parents to read, to share with their children. And so there is more intentionality about awareness, and this is a stepping stone to the more to a more period-friendly world that we want for girls. And this station or this program we're currently on now is also creating the awareness. So I think awareness has really done a lot of good for us, for parents, for the children, and even for for men in general, on how to support girls in managing their periods and providing safe spaces for them.
Thank you, Bossede. Now let's go to Dorcas. Dorcas, I know that in 2023 you are part of Let Girls Thrive, and that means you did understand things that concerns menstrual hygiene, and also things happening around girls and all. So the question I want to ask you now is, what are the myths or taboos around menstruation, and how do they affect girls and women when it comes to our society?
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Mariam, for that question. And just like what Ms. Bossede said, enough awareness has been carried out recently. And so I'm typically working in a rural community like Ogun Ogun State. I've met girls who have talked to me about several belief systems they have concerning menstrual hygiene, which are negative. So one of the myths is menstruation is dirty or it's not pure. So you see, when girls have this mentality of it's not clean, it's not pure. I could even give a practical example. Growing up as a young girl, I had a classmate one of the times when I came back from writing for QME. So I came back on Sunday, I went to see her in church. And I told her I slated to meet her in church, and she said, no, she's not going to be in church because she's on her period. And so I was like, why? She said, in my church, we don't go to church when we're having our period because it is termed unpure. It is not clean. So all of this makes girls isolated from school, some place of worship. Period happens between 3 to 5 days, and between those 3 to 5 days, when girls are on their period, women are on their period, they're unable to go to church, they're unable to go to school. So this will help. This would affect them, isolating them from school, from place of worship, able to meet up with them. Another myth girls have about, or women have about menstruation is the blood is harmful. It is shameful. It is shame. It's a shame. So when you are saying, people look at you, boys, the community look at you and say, "Oh, you're not supposed to come out this way." It's a natural process, and I think people should begin to see it as a natural process, and they will give attention to girls in that way. And so all of these things promote shame, secrecy, discouraging open conversation about it, because they think menstruation is harmful. Another myth about menstruation is it could cause infertility. When you're on your menstruation, you're not supposed to engage in physical activity. You're not supposed to engage in sports. All of these things has hindered girls from having access to full education, from doing work or having same equality like the boys, if I would say that. But if all of these things can be cancelled, can be eradicated, girls will have more dignified, period, menstruation and time. Thank you.
Okay, so Bossada, let me come back to you. While Dorcas, what she was talking about the myths and taboos, that are in a way attached to menstruation, she did talk about the fact that these girls, they feel shameful, and she talked about the fact that open conversation will help in curbing this. But aside from open conversation, because what we are having on the program this morning is an open conversation about it, and if a girl child is out there, or maybe a father, a brother, or an uncle, or someone that is a caregiver is listening, he or she will definitely understand that, okay, this is not a stain in my personality. It is just one of the things that I have to experience as a woman. So aside from open conversation, what other ways do you think we can curb this shame or stigma attached to menstruation? Because let me use something as an example, a situation as an example. I have been in a particular space due to the fact that that girl, I'm talking about the girl child, wasn't so, she, maybe she was not educated on how to be hygienic during her period. In a way, the blood, you could perceive, the smell of the blood just by standing very close to her. And that was because, well, to me, my thought then was the fact that maybe she was not well educated on how to take care of herself and be clean while on her period. But she was in a way talked down on at that particular gathering, because people were like, "Oh, you stink. Why are you stinking? It's because you're on your period. You stink. You smell badly. Didn't you change your sanitary towel? Why are you like this?" And also, she felt so very much ashamed. So how can we curb this particular situation, aside from talking about it, aside from creating awareness about it? Is there any other way we can go about it?
All right. Thank you so much, Miriam, and thank you, Dorcas, for that insightful conversation. So, when it comes to period education, everyone has a role to play. Everyone has a role to play. The mothers, the husbands, the men, the teachers, community leaders, community members. Everyone has a role to play. Right, and I'm going to come from the angle of example you shared just now. A girl taint and maybe smells. Right. One thing: what if the girl does not have enough knowledge about period education? Rather than make her feel less confident, what about having conversation and helping that type of girl? Right. Everyone has a role to play, right? We can support by listening without judgment. What if she has, a medical condition that is, aggravating the flow of blood? Right? We all have a role to play. We need to listen to people think that I go about carrying pads, not because I'm on my period every time, but I know how that has helped, maybe in church, maybe when I'm at the office, maybe when I go for school visits. I've seen how that has helped. And someone is like, oh, please, do you have a pad there? Or when I see a child that got stained, and I will easily walk up to the girl or to the woman or whoever it is to say, oh, I noticed you're stained. Do you have an extra pad with you? And what I do is help them get to a safe place where they can clean up and then hand them a pad. Imagine every woman is doing that. Right? Aside that, we need to be able to talk to people and don't make them feel shameful. You see a woman or a girl getting stained, it's our responsibilities. It's our responsibility to walk up to that person and say, oh, I noticed that you got stained, but don't be ashamed. We all go through this phase, right? Do you know if there's, I can help you get a safe space where you can just clean up and things like that, right? We need to also continue to create open spaces for this discussion. And I'm so grateful to Splash FM for giving us this opportunity to have this open conversation. Prior to now, maybe years ago, it's always hard for parents to even talk to their girls about menstrual hygiene or menstruation. It's like a taboo that you can't talk about it. But now for radio station media, we are creating more spaces for discussions like this. So it would be good to have more discussions about this, right? We need to start teaching empathy to our boys, teaching empathy to them and modeling sensitivity, because they also need to understand that this is a natural occurrence that happens to every girl child, right? So you're having a conversation with a boy child in a class and you say that when you see a fellow student, a female student that is stained, you don't have to laugh. You just have to have a conversation. I'm going to, give an example. One of the schools that I go on to distribute pads, the woman was sharing a testimony, or so I could call it, that one day she was teaching. This is a teacher that she was teaching, but she didn't know that she was stained. And she was in front of the class teaching. She realized that one of the boys just walked up to her with a cardigan and just wrapped his hand around the teacher. And this was a primary school teacher. And she was like, why are you, the boy had to say it in Yoruba, like, you are stained, man, so I want to use my cardigan, my sweater to cover you. The woman said she almost shed tears because somewhere, somehow, there's somebody at home that is teaching this child extra. How about all of us being part of it, teaching empathy to our boys, right? Menstruation is a normal occurrence that happens to every female child, right? When everyone takes this as a crucial responsibility, we begin to break generational cycles of silence, of stigma. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now you mentioned everyone, and then you have not really mentioned governments, because I would love to ask you the role that governments can play in this particular one. In the report I read earlier by WHO and also UNICEF, they did talk about the fact that there are major gaps in water supplies, sanitation, and hygiene. And unlike in those days that we have maybe water corporation in almost all the states across Nigeria, but now we don't have them anymore. And different individuals, in a way, had to sort how to get water for themselves, maybe by digging borehole wells and all of that here and there. So in this particular situation, especially when it comes to our school, when we don't have, in most cases we don't have water, what role do you think that government can play in ensuring that this message of menstrual hygiene is passed from the highest level to the lowest, or to the last person on the street?
Thank you so much, Miriam. So when I said everyone, of course, the government is also needs to be involved in this, right? So first thing I would say is, how can, the government need to first integrate menstrual hygiene education or period education into our curriculum. Like I said, we need to begin to teach both girls and boys empathy. We need to begin to teach them about the normal, occurrence that happens to every female child, right? How about the government integrating menstrual hygiene or period education into the curriculum? And I know they will tell you in biology, there is reproduction in biology, but that is just a subsection of, the reproductive system, right? But what about, a curriculum that speaks to that part? Because the truth is, it's a normal thing that happens to a woman. Okay. Another thing that I think the government needs to be involved in, providing clean and safe space in schools. Let's even start with schools. There are some schools that do not have toilet facilities. How about, the government working with the community members and ensuring that every school, at least the basic thing, have a toilet facility with running water. If we can achieve that, at least it's the right step in the right direction. Every public school, and when it starts with the government, other private, low-cost private schools follow suit, right? Every public primary and secondary school should have basic toilet facility with running water. Okay? Another thing is, we're calling on government to please remove tax from sanitary products. Now, the amount you spend on buying sanitary pads, it's a lot for even a working class person. Think about the girls on the streets. Think about girls in public schools. Think about girls whose parents are even still struggling to, get one meal per day. So how about we also, the government also partner with non-profits. I know there are a lot of non-profit organizations that are working in partnership with schools, communities to be able to provide sanitary pads for girls in schools. But we also need the support of government. I buy sanitary pads and distribute it to girls, but I buy with my money and the money I raise from friends, from grants and things like that. And when I realized that it was not sustainable, I had to start teaching those girls how to make reusable pads, right? So there is a part that the government needs to play. And for us at Teach for Nigeria, a non-profit organization, right, we are also not leaving it to the government. But because the truth is the government cannot do everything. How are we, supporting our teachers, our fellows in the different communities? It's ensuring that they are leading change, addressing these issues from the grassroots. We have a program, be the Change project, where all fellows that are graduating from our fellowship need to complete. And some of those projects are focused on empowering girls, ensuring that girls have safe periods, ensuring that girls have safe spaces. Right? These projects are community-driven initiatives that fellows partner with the government, with the local government, with the school leaders to provide sanitary pads for girls to ensure that girls are able to have access to quality education. And this is how we, as an organization, we are leading, the conversation, the awareness on menstrual hygiene, ensuring that we are establishing peer education clubs in schools, because we also understand that the government has a responsibility to play. But we also want to support the government in able to, to be able to reach out to more girls, to be able to support those girls, and to be able to help them to stay in school and learn, even when they're on their period. And we also want to support the government to continue to break the stigma and build a healthier, more informed school community. Thank you.
Thank you, Bosede. Dorcas, let me come to you. I was going through your bio, and I'll say I am in awe. It's not awe, actually. I'm in awe. I'm just joking. I'm in awe of, what you have done so far, especially when it concerns, the girl child, how you've been able to bridge the gap, and also ensuring that the girl child get the right education. To be honest with you, I'm impressed by what you've done so far, Dorcas. So, Dorcas, where you are in Ijebu, what are the peculiar things that you notice when it comes to menstrual hygiene, aside from the myths and the taboos that you've mentioned earlier? What are the because this is a good state. What are the peculiar things that you have noticed that you feel if the government should come in, and also if the society can do better in this area, it will bring a total change to menstrual hygiene, especially in that community?
All right, thank you so much, Miss Miriam. Being in the community, first of all, things that
You're far from the microphone. You have to speak up.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it's better. Go ahead.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So, things I've noticed that really affected girls when it comes to menstrual hygiene, to your talk, is number one, lack of sufficient education. Because I think when these girls, when the boys, when we talk about stigma, we talk about shame. Where does it come from? It comes from the community. It comes from the parents.
Your voice is still low, Dorcas.
So can you hear me?
Yes, it's better now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. So I said when it comes to stigma, when it comes to shame, when it comes to problems or challenges around menstrual hygiene, it comes from the community. It comes from the community and the society to this girl. And so one thing I've noticed is lack of sufficient education. Yes, we talk about it, but we don't talk about it enough. Because we, just like what Ms. Butter said, we drive it from the grassroots up. So if the parents, if the father, the mother understands what period education is, what menstrual hygiene consists of, to be able to pass this knowledge down to their girl child and even to the boy child, just like the story we said about that boy that helped the teacher. So we need more sufficient education. Girls should be at school. Parents should have this conversation. This is one challenge. And for me in my community, I have this conversation, inclusive with the boys. So if I'm having a girl child program, I have the boys. So it's a 60-40% ratio. When I'm having a girl child program, I have 40% of boys, inclusive, because they are the ones that will help these girls. They're the ones that will empower, to live well and not to be ashamed of their period. Another thing again I've noticed is the fact that the community leaders, religious houses, imagine a girl saying or somebody saying that, no, we do not have this kind of conversation in our church. We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it in our church. We leave it for the parents if they want to, and we also understand that these girls can get to learn somewhere else. This conversation should be in our religious houses, in our church, in the community. Another thing again is we also have situations where girls do not have sufficient menstrual hygiene materials, and this has made them, so some of them are suffering from infections. Some of them are unable to come to school when it's menstrual period time because they do not want to get shamed, they don't want to get ashamed. So I'm thinking that if also the community and religious houses can have a menstrual hygiene bank and say, every month we'll be donating total amount of cash to girls in this community to also assist and also help them, this will go a long way. So I think in my community, yes, those two major areas are just felt as are areas that we really need to work on when it comes to menstrual hygiene and menstrual education. Thank you.
Okay. Let me come to Bossede. Bossede, I want us to focus now on. Okay, so in your bong, Dorcas, kindly mute your mic so that we are getting a hold back from you. Okay, thank you. So, Bossede, I want us to focus on widowers. I want us to focus on single fathers. Now, due to the economic situation, quite a number of them, once they wake up, like the normal saying on the street, wake up and bake. So once they wake up, they're waking the children, they're telling them, get dressed, let's go, and they're all dressed up and poof, they're out of the house. They already have things to, they want the children to do once they're back from school. And once they get back at night, oh, have you guys eaten? Okay, great. Good night, everyone. And they just go to bed because they are single fathers. They are the ones taking care of these children. And some of them are widowers, some divorcee and all. So let's focus on them, because some of them don't even have the proper education, especially the less educated ones. We have the literate that can, they throw money at everything. Maybe they have a house help that the children can go to and, ask for help and in such a situation. But there are some that don't have the money. They are not fully educated. They are hustling and struggling to ensure that they take care of these children. Let's focus on those individuals. How, in what way can they come in to help their girl child when it comes to menstrual hygiene?
Thank you so much, Miriam, for that question. And I'm so glad that we are having this conversation, and we're also looking at, widowers, single fathers, and especially those ones that are in low income communities. Number one, I think this conversation we are having now, most people have access to radio, right?
Yes.
This conversation we are having now, it's the first step in the right direction for them. They listen to it. Some of them might not be able to read and write, but also the awareness that we are creating, whether we like it or not, is going to go a long way to help these fathers on how they can help their girls. I also think that teachers in schools can also help. Because most of the time, when you look at the time that a child spends in school, about 8 hours, and that was what I said earlier when I said, imagine we have this in our curriculum. A child that spends 8 hours in school, have conversation with teachers, with our peers, will be able to learn more about, period education. And we even have some children that will be the ones to even enlighten the father when he gets home, to say that, oh, Dad, I'm on my period, and this is what they've taught us. But like I said earlier, the parents, the fathers need to first listen without judgment. Because there are some, immediately they said, their child is saying, oh, I'm seeing blood. The first thing is like, did you go and abort? And what did you go and do? First listen as a father. For widowers, for single fathers listening to me. First listen as a father without judgment. Listen to your child. When your child is saying that, oh, I'm feeling like this, I'm having this pain here. First listen to them. Some of your girls would have heard about period education in school. Listen to them, because you can also learn from these children. And like you said, some of them might not have access to resources to read online or have a nanny to help them, right? They can also speak to teachers of their child or their world or their girls without any shame. Without any shame. And like I also said earlier, we all have a part to play. How about, their moms, sisters,
relatives,
things like that, that can also help. But especially these fathers, right? Speak to teachers, the teachers of your children. I know teachers, like I said, teachers are doing a lot. The teachers of your children, they can also help, right? Listen to children when they tell you that, oh, I'm feeling like this. And when they, as parents, as men, do not have an understanding of what it's about, they can always ask questions from the women around them that can help, from the teachers in the schools of their children. Because the truth is you can't give what you don't have. So I understand they might not have an understanding of what menstruation is, how they're going to, but if they can also listen to their children and ask for help from women all around them, they will be able to, they will have that support. And like listening to programs like this also help. So the fathers need to be more intentional about somebody else out there who do it and will cause problems because for the child. If you don't, if girls don't have access to safe periods, safe hygienic products, it's going to probably cause diseases, infertility, and all the likes in the nearest future. Now, there is a lot of awareness about endometriosis, about PCOS, about, dysmenorrhea. Those things we never knew before now. We just realized that if you have irregular periods, your parents will say, Abi, you have gone to slept with one man.
Yes.
But the truth is, somebody that has PCOS probably might not have seen a period for the next 6 months. So, because of awareness. And so, single fathers need to be more aware, need to listen more. Now we now understand. Now celebrities are coming out. People are talking about PCOS. People are talking about endometriosis. But these things have been for years. But because there were little or no awareness about it. But even we ladies, some of us don't even know about PCOS. When your friend tells you they've not had period for 4 months, like how possible is that? But because but now there is more awareness about it. And so the fathers need to be more intentional. It's not only the girls that you even have to focus on, just like Dorcas mentioned. Even the boys. Catch them young, start talking to them about it. They are going to get married. I've had someone tells me that anytime, and this person is a married man, saying that anytime his wife is on her period, she does not touch her, as in she does not eat her food. I'm like, in this 21st century, you're still thinking like this for 35 years.
But I have also heard a man tell me, me that, anytime he sees a lady and he gets to know that the lady is on her period, that he's always moving inches away from that person until the person is done. And I'm like, why? What if the person is your wife?
But the truth is, Miriam, that is the reality. There are some men out there, they've just zeroed their mind to say that when a woman is on her period, I'm supposed to distance myself away from her. And these are the menstruation myths that we need to break. These are the barriers we're talking about, right? These are the barriers we're talking about. So fathers, men need to do better. They need to be more intentional in understanding these things. They need to be more intentional. It's a normal occurrence. It's a biological thing that happens to every woman. If you don't go through this process, how are you sure that you are even fertile as a woman? Right? They need to be more intentional. When you realize that at 13, 14, 15, your child has now started menstruating, it is your responsibility to ask the child. Maybe the child is hiding something. Are you okay? Is everything all right? Have you started seeing your period? When you have that conversation with your girl child, the child will like, okay, my father is interested.
No, I can talk.
Or when you're saying, and your father is saying, are you a baby? What is this? But when you understand that this child is going through a phase this month, how can I help you? Do you need sanitary pads? I have when I was, I have period talk about it and I buy pads. And I remember I could not buy the pads because I buy it in bulk, and I asked a friend to buy for me. And he was like, no, I can't go to the supermarket to go and buy pads. People will be looking at me. And I'm like, no, it's not a shameful thing. It's something that you should be, glad that you want to even do that to support the girl. And I have, I have male friends that are also partnering with me in this, my talk about period education, that they even go as far as getting the pass and delivering it to my house. Because now they now have an understanding of, it's a biological thing that happens to women.
Yes.
But how can we then support them? Like I said earlier, if you see a lady getting stained, as a man, it's not something you will now come and start laughing about. Because you're actually making a joke of yourself. It's something that you could walk up to the lady, oh, I think you're stained, but I saw that there is a restroom nearby. Do you want me to get you a sanitary pad? And that's one of the things our fellows in the classroom are not only women, they're also men. And this is how they are also breaking the barriers. You see men that are fellows that are going over and beyond and getting pads and providing pads for girls in their classroom. The Let Girls Thrive initiative is not only women that are in this program, just like Dorcas. There are men in this program that are also breaking the barriers, that it is not a woman's responsibility to provide pads. It is our responsibility, whether you're male or you're female or whatever the case may be. It is our responsibility to know about period education, to know how to support girls, whether to support both girls and women, right? And I also think that churches need to also create awareness about this. Churches are must or maybe traditional leaders. I know that we have three major, religion in
yes.
in a box, you put like drop 3 parts here. In our when you go to hotels, when you go to some hotels abroad, actually you see parts there. They will put it as they put tissue paper. They will put parts there because they know that there are some women that will enter that place that they need parts. How about we have such spaces where we go to our hotels, where we go to public spaces, when you go to event centers? Why can't we have things like, just like we have tissue papers, just have a space that have sanitary pads? And of course, I know we are Nigerians. There are some people that want to pass, but let's make effort. And when men see this, they will also be able to, support. They will also be able to be inspired because they've seen that some people have taken the right step. Churches, mosques, they can as well just drop, box like that and say free sanitary pads. Please drop your free sanitary pads there to support girls or women. Right? And we can talk about this for years, but the truth is there are still some myths surround, even religiously. There are some churches you can't go to if you're menstruating, pardon me. There are some, when it comes to, so there's still some religious barriers. It's even beyond men. There are still some religious barriers when it comes to menstruation and menstrual hygiene. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so if you are just joining the program, well, it's Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM, and I've been having a mind-blowing conversation with Bose Deogidon, Program Director with Teach for Nigeria, and Dorcas Iniobang, who is a fellow, who was a part of the fellows in 2003, the fellows on Let Girls Thrive. She is also, running an NGO and doing one thing or the other to ensure that a girl child is well educated and also well informed, and breaking barriers, breaking that educational gap between a girl child and a male child. And she's doing her best also to educate both the male child and the female child on menstrual hygiene. She is serving in the Owu Ijebu community. So those are the two great minds I've been having this conversation with on the program this great morning. So feel free to join the conversation if you have any question for my guest or you have a contribution on the program this morning. The studio lines are open: 0817 444 1067 or 0705 050 1067. Those are the numbers to call. That 0705 050 1067. I can't assure you that it will go through, but then you can try 0817 444 1067. 0817 444 1067. Don't forget that WhatsApp is also available, so you can reach us on WhatsApp this morning. WhatsApp is 0817 0705 050 1067. Hello, good morning. Turn down the volume on your radio set. It's quite loud.
Good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Where? All right, go ahead, Adeni. But there is noise where you are. I can still hear myself. Your radio set is loud. Turn it down.
Is it okay now?
Yes, a bit better. Go ahead.
Okay. I want to thank those the guests. They have done very, very well. And we can see that some mothers don't even care about their girl child, and this menstrual issue is a thing that we should all, join hands together and campaign against it, in a normal, in a positive way. The churches, the mosques also have a lot to do. I want to thank our guests. You have spoken very well.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I also run an online media. I would be glad to work with this NGO for free. If you have any materials that you want to use, I want to join in spreading the news also. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much for your contribution. I'm sure Teach for Nigeria will tell you how to reach them on all social media platforms to be a part of the campaign. 0705 050 1067 0817 444 1067. Our WhatsApp platform is also available. You can drop your comment there. It's 0705 050 1067. That's our WhatsApp platform. You can drop your comment and I will definitely get to your comment. So if you have any question, feel free to drop it there. So, Bossade, before we go, because we only have about 2 minutes more to go. So from you and also from Dorcas, I want your advice to the girl child, especially now, because we've been able to talk to government, the society, and also fathers and mothers. So I want you to, in about 40 seconds each, so I want you to talk to the girl child herself when it comes to menstrual hygiene, and also today being World Menstrual Hygiene Day. So who is going first? Dorcas, you go first. Dorcas. Okay. Bosse, maybe you should go then.
Okay. All right. So to the girls, first I want to say Happy World Menstrual Hygiene Day to all of us. And I want to say this, that you're not alone. We are all in this together. And it's our responsibility to ensure that we continue to provide a period-friendly world. And to the man that had asked a question earlier to say how can he, and I'm so glad to hear that a man can call in to say he's ready to support. Please feel free to reach out to us via social media, Teach for Nigeria, on Instagram, Facebook, on LinkedIn. We'll be happy to hear from you to see how we can collaborate with you. Thank you so much, Maria. And thanks to Splash FM for creating a space for us to openly talk about this. Thanks to you and to all our listeners listening to us this morning. I hope that you've been able to take one or two important things from this conversation, and we'll all continue to support girls to have a free period world.
All right. Thank you. So, Dorcas, are you ready for us now? Yes, we can hear you. There's a holdback, but then go ahead. Just like 30 seconds.
All right. So, just like, or in addition to what Ms. Buffett said, happy World Menstruation Day to all girls out there. I want us to understand that it's a natural process for everyone. And let's, dignify it. Let's take it with so much dignity. I also want to say that and to everyone out there, father, the mother, the community, churches, and every section and every parastatal of government. Let's create a world where everyone, no matter the gender, can support girls to manage their period with dignity and with pride. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dorcas, and many thanks to you, Bossede, as well. Bossede Ogidon is the program director with Teach for Nigeria, and Dorcas Iniobong is a fellow or a part of 2023 Let Girls Thrive. There is a particular number that has been calling. Let's see if we can sneak this one in, and I think it's a woman. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Yes, good morning.
Yes,
I'm Cecilia.
Okay.
Also a Teach for Nigerian fellow.
Oh, great.
I love the program. Well done to Dorcas. Well done to what they do. Well done to them.
Okay.
So thank you so much. I just want to say hi to them and to you too. Well done for the program. It has been inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Cecilia, for calling. So I knew there is something, there's someone there that I would love to reach out. So thank you, Bossede Ogidon. Thank you, Dorcas. And thank you, Linda. I know Linda is somewhere there, quietly observing. Thank you so much. It's really amazing having you all around.